Hi, this is Corey Heyman, and today I'm going to talk to you about HPT and e-learning, how human performance technology applies to e-learning. With the urgent need to implement remote training environments throughout the global pandemic, e-learning grew exponentially out of necessity. While we wait for the future research to vet the effectiveness of that e-learning on performance, one method of gauging success or failure is the retrospective application of human performance technology. How does human performance technology apply to workplace learning environments specifically? Let's start by defining human performance technology. According to O'Driscoll, the goal of human performance technology, or HPT, also called human performance improvement, HPI, is to analyze issues with performance and define and implement high performance work systems. HPT is an approach to analyze, assess, and improve the ways in which people perform based on quantifiable and empirical data. It uses various models and methods and emphasizes both human performers and their organizational context or work environment. It's systematic and systemic, meaning it is both orderly and functions at the enterprise level of an organization, as opposed to being siloed or pigeonholed in specific areas or business units. The focus of HPT is on the accomplishments that both the individual performers and the organization find valuable. This is achieved by utilizing one or more methods and or models or frameworks of analysis. One such framework is that of the International Society for Performance Improvement. ISB published its performance standards to guide practitioners in professional best practices. Those 10 standards are staying focused on outcomes or results, taking a systemic view, adding value, working in partnership with stakeholders, determining opportunities and needs, determining root causes, designing, implementing, and evaluating solutions, ensuring that those solutions are both viable and feasible, implementing the solutions, and subsequently evaluating both the results and the impact. The standards emphasize the systemic nature of improvement, reminding practitioners to maintain emphasis on outcomes, people, and viability as they navigate the process. The ISPE standards also place an emphasis on communication. SAGE reminds us that HPT is known for being relevant to any context requiring performance evaluating and improving performance problems. Essentially, HPT can be applied to any context. For our example, we're going to apply it to e-learning in the workplace. The Association for Talent Development, ADT, defines e-learning as a structured course or learning experience delivered electronically. It can also include performance support content. E-learning is also a term that serves as a general category for a variety of educational content delivered electronically, such as virtual training, a remote learning, etc. Research surveys conducted on the topic of e-learning since its genesis reveal a rapid and remarkable evolution since the 1970s. E-learning has evolved from computer-based learning based on behavioral pedagogical methods to web-based learning from a constructivist lens. In just over 40 years, we've grown from rudimentary single user programs using a floppy disk to AI applications that can now synthesize and predict both our learning preferences and goals. Instructional design is a systematic process that facilitates learning. Determining the structure and delivery methods is a critical component of e learning development. Designing the course structure, instructional approaches, and course delivery models and methods is typically done by instructional designers. In 2012, the International Board of Standards for Training, Performance, and Instruction published a set of instructional design competencies which outline 5 distinct domains. Those competency domains include professional foundations, which are the basic and or advanced skills expected of instructional designers, planning and analysis skills such as conducting needs assessment or analyzing new methods or technologies, design and development skills, which include instructional and non-instructional interventions, evaluation and implementation skills, including data-based solutions and revisions, as well as management skills, which are both managerial and collaborative in nature. So what? What do HPT, e-learning, and instructional design have to do with each other? Well, the issue is that current instructional designers now use rapid prototyping and skip portions of more traditional instructional design models. Why? Because the modern, fast paced, rapidly changing work environment encounters frequent technological changes and advances, and so must strive to keep employees current on training and development because it's critical to maintaining successful business operations. Some of the criticisms of more traditional instructional design models are their inability to meet rapid training demands due to the length of time often necessary to complete a learning project. We've seen that e-learning almost doubled from 2019 to fall 2020, seeing a 93% increase. So time really is of the essence. Okay, so these demands conflict with other expectations for the role of an instructional designer. Performance improvement is also an expected competency for instructional designers, but the practical day to day workplace operations often preclude designers from adhering to the systematic and systemic processes of HPT. Ideally, HPT methods would be implemented instead to assess the actual situational factors. But who would perform this assessment? The individuals assessing, designing, and evaluating learning are typically instructional designers and trainers. But the instructional designers and trainers are busy building and deploying e learning programs to keep up with business demands. The literature affirms that multiple conflicts impact the ability of instructional designers to function in their expected capacities. Evidence shows that two critical aspects of both HPT and instructional design models, such as ADDIE, are often sacrificed for expedited delivery of e learning, that of analysis and evaluation. Traditional methods such as ADDIE and HPT have been replaced by more agile, iterative design methods and rapid prototyping to push e learning out to employees as quickly as possible. When exploring issues of competencies dependent on varying contexts, research found that a wide array of instructional design and HPT models are used by professionals of all levels. However, research also revealed a considerable lack in cross functionality for models from various professional contexts. In other words, the frameworks used in higher education differ from those used in the private sector, even when the end goal was similar, the creation of an e learning course. Further, an evaluation of graduate school program curriculum for instructional design revealed a lack of courses that would prepare graduates with on the job expectations pertaining to performance and process improvement, despite it being a common job expectation. Curriculum either prepares graduates for instructional design in educational settings or the curriculum focused on business and performance improvement, but rarely both. Exploring the expected competencies and areas of expertise in both instructional design courses and in practice, the consensus is that designers act to find problems and propose methods to solve those problems. Complicating the issues surrounding e learning training and course creation, the literature and evidence suggests that instructional designers tend to lack practical experience in performance improvement. Further, certain instructional design models can limit an instructional designer's ability to see the larger picture of the contextual environment. The research shows that workplace job roles for instructional designers and trainers hired to create and deploy e-learning expect staff to have the necessary skill set to find and solve problems to improve overall performance. When organizations seek instructional design staff for the development of e-learning, evidence suggests that the expectation is that designers also fulfill at least a partial role in performance improvement, thus requiring some competencies in HPT or HBI or similar modalities. Coursework or training in HPT has the potential to remediate practical conflicts when utilized effectively. Further, if the expectation is to improve performance by way of rapid e learning deployment to meet business needs, then HPT need not be jettisoned for agile methods. Instead, we can apply it retrospectively. Because modern work environments require rapid implementation and deployment of e learning to meet just in time needs of their workforce, the traditional methods and models of instructional design and HPT have been abandoned in lieu of more modern, nimble approaches. While HPT may be relegated to the back burner now, it doesn't need to stay there. Private sector businesses can still benefit substantially by applying the HPT model retrospectively to their e learning programs. Doing so allows for assessment and measurement of course efficacy and business outcomes. Using both historical and current data provides the capability to discover problems ahead of any future service disruptions or customer dissatisfaction. Historical data allows for the visual measurement of performance improvement over time since course go live, while backend evaluation allows for the use of contemporaneous metrics to provide quantifiable data for measuring current results. Comparing the two shows the results of e learning and can highlight predominant weak areas as well as emphasize what, what's working as expected. The result allows for necessary future modifications before issues arise organically in the work environment. Reconsidering how HPT can apply to workspace e-learning could be a significant benefit to private sector companies, especially in the modern business world, which focuses and thrives on the notion of continuous improvement. I leave you with this quote from Zarofsky and Pembroke. From our research and case study, we determined that what is generally missing from Agile and the other Agile instructional systems design models is needs assessment and front end analysis. While HPT is the old model and Agile is the new model, one does not necessarily replace the other. There is synergy between HPT and Agile instructional systems design. Thanks for your time today. If you're interested in any of the resources used, please see my reference page here. Thanks and have a great day.